And we're back, full table. This is some shit we like. Thank you for joining us, episode 303, right?
Yep. Yes.
Episode 303. My name is Bryce. This is Rick. This is Mike. And we are the hottest podcast, self-proclaimed threesome. Wait, in podcast. Fuck, I fucked it up. The hottest threesome in podcasting. Self-proclaimed. Not really.
Trying to fucking call me out for last week, and you messed it up yourself.
Well, I said the right words, though. I just did it
in
the wrong order.
I guess so.
Yeah. So, if you guys have never listened to us before, this is some shit we like. We talk about video games and movies and games and shit that we like. That's what we do. Movies and video games and games. That's what I said, right?
Yeah, you said video games, movies, and games.
Movies and games and video and films. And all kinds of stuff. Pictures that move.
You are out of practice after missing only a week,
I
sir.
guess so. It's fucked up. Anyways, if you're catching us live on Twitch, thank you. We appreciate you guys coming into the chat and interacting with us. And if you miss us live, that's okay because you can hear the audio on Tuesday. If you don't want to look at our ugly mugs, the audio goes up on Tuesday sometime before the first video, which is a clip. That will go up on Tuesday. Usually at noon. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Clips go up throughout the week. That's what they do. The schedule is a little unpredictable now because Rick decides to sometimes do 4 videos, sometimes he decides to do 7 videos. So we'll see.
There was fucking 8 things in his queue last week. I go, Bryce is gonna hate us. That's why
I didn't even do it, so it's fine. But yeah, and then if you miss us live on Twitch and you do want to watch this full show in its entirety, you can do that on Friday when we put up the whole video with Rick's editing touches.
Yeah, his magic fingers.
Yeah.
Okay, now everyone pose for the camera so we can get a thumbnail. I always forget to do that. I like last week's thumbnail.
I like your random thumbnails, though.
Okay, then we'll do that.
Yeah, I do too. Is that what I didn't notice. Is that what you ended up using?
You didn't see? I was like...
yeah. Flashing gang signs over here. Did you catch that?
I did see that, yeah. Because...
What did you see how scared he got? Did he use... Is that a gang sign?
He's like down with the kids. I remember I made Rick start to squirm a little bit when we were talking about the Oscars, and I started to get into like racial territory. And I'm like, I think he thought I was gonna say something that was gonna be offensive or racist. I'm like, dude, you know me. I'm not going to. But I was watching him like, just fucking chill. But yeah,
my son was sick this week.
I'm glad you filled in the blank.
You
look at me. I ate a chip,
Yep.
and I'm like, Mike, say something. And what you came up with was my son was sick.
Let's go into the shit we did this week between recording. That's what we usually do. So yeah, he got sick on Wednesday night, and so we kept him home from school on Thursday and Friday. And last time he was sick, he had the flu like this. I was like, all right, buddy, you're gonna watch a movie I used to watch as a kid when I was sick. It used to make me feel better, and I had him watch Karate Kid. I talked about that on here. And he fell in love with that movie. And by the end of the movie, he was like, beginning he was under a blanket just watching. And by the end of the movie, he was sitting on the edge of the bed, like,
oh, really?
all in.
That was his first time?
Yeah, he hadn't seen it yet. And that was about a year ago, actually, at this time. Yeah, about a year ago. He only really gets sick like once a year, which is pretty funny. And so this time, I was like, I know what movie I'm going to put on for you. So Thursday night, I put on Ready Player One for him. And he loved it.
You saw it with Michaela, though, didn't you?
No.
I thought you
she didn't go with us.
Okay.
No. Just me and the wife. But yeah, he watched Ready Player One and was all about it, man. Like, there's spoilers if you haven't seen Ready Player One. When they blow up the stacks, he's like, he was laying down and the explosion happens and he gets up, he goes, oh no, Dad, that was his home. Why would they do that? And he was just sucked in the whole time.
That's awesome.
And his fever broke while we were watching it, and he actually started to feel better and stuff. It was pretty awesome. Like, I love that, when you're not feeling good or if you're not necessarily like physical wellness, but like mental wellness, if you're just not feeling good, like things like movies and music and books can kind of snap you out of it because you're not thinking about it. And he totally had one of those moments. We're watching Ready Player One where he just snapped right out of it and was just sucked into the movie, and he really enjoyed it.
Yesterday when I was driving home, like took me an hour and a half to get home. Wow. Yeah, traffic was terrible on the 405, and I was like exhausted, tired, and all that. And then I got food, and I was like, let me see who's on Twitch right now. And then the podcast I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned to both of you, Nerds on Display.
Yeah.
They were streaming last night. I guess they stream every Friday, and I was watching them, and they kind of remind us of us a little bit. So like it kind of picked me up, you know?
Yeah.
It made me feel better.
Can't hang out with
I ended up falling
Bryce.
asleep anyways.
Can
but-
hang out with cheap imitations of us.
I think yeah. I think my movie, my go-to movie for a bit when I would always try to
Is
go
it
home
fucking
from school
Beetlejuice?
sick. No, it wasn't.
Ah.
Actually, it wasn't. It was Wayne's World.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I
You know
used to-
what? Yeah, that was in heavy rotation for me
It
too.
was fucking Wayne's World. I went through this period where I used to always just happen to feel like I was coming down with something when we'd start math, like in 2nd or 3rd grade. I'd go to the nurse and like I'd hope that I would just get any sort of temperature that was above normal. I don't know why. I wasn't bad at math. I just didn't fucking want to do it. And so I'd go home and I'd have some food and watch Wayne's World.
My go-tos were Karate Kid and surprise, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
I was Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah, that was another one too. That was like, I guess Karate Kid and Back to the Future were like when I got a little bit older, like probably like my son's age. But when I was little, it was Flight of the Navigator and Last Starfighter.
Still haven't seen Last Starfighter. Tried to, but
I haven't seen
long
either
and
movie.
boring.
You're long and boring,
Yeah, I'm long and
just
boring.
like Blade Runner, long and
It
boring.
is long and boring.
That's like a controversial statement there.
Yeah.
No,
And I'll fight you.
no.
I'll bring it on, Annie.
I haven't seen
Who's
Flight of the
occasionally watching.
Yeah, she might
Bring
be
it on.
now. I haven't seen Flight of the Navigator or Star, whatever you said.
Last Starfighter.
Last Starfighter.
It would have surprised me that you wouldn't have seen Last Starfighter, but Flight of the Navigator, that kind of surprises me a bit.
Yeah, that was like on heavy rotation on HBO when we
and
were.
on regular television
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Well, haven't you not seen Beetlejuice?
Not in its entirety. I mean, I've seen clips.
That's like the most you've
He
ever
was
said
also-
before.
he
used
was
to always
also
just
banned
praise
from
he's
watching
never
a
seen
lot
it.
of things as a
I
kid.
was also banned from watching shit like that.
As far as I know, you had like free reign and could do whatever the hell you wanted.
And I still remember fucking watching Beavis and Butthead. Probably when I was like too young to understand everything and like went straight up to my dad and asked him what a sperm bank was.
Oh no!
I was like, what are you watching? And I saw fucking White Men Can't Jump probably at a way too young of an age too, watching with my parents,
Yeah.
and I was like, what do you mean, like, he's not the goofy white motherfucker, he's the goofy white motherfucker. There's a lot of stuff where, like, you think about it in hindsight,
Yeah.
and you're just like, man.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, I bring it up a lot here when I'll bring up a movie I saw and I was like, I probably watched that way too young to watch something like that. Like a lot of horror movies I watched, I was way too young to be watching them.
Yeah. I used to watch Lethal Weapon 3 on repeat, too.
I saw Fast Times at Ridgemont High when I was way too young to be watching that movie.
Yeah.
But it's one of my favorite movies to this day. And like, I kind of felt like with stuff like that, I kind of felt like maybe as I got older, I was like, maybe I only like that stuff because I knew I shouldn't have been watching it or reading it or hearing it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people do that with books. Like, a buddy of mine would always talk about, oh, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Fear and Loathing, oh, so good, so good. I was like, it's not that good. Like, I said, I think you like it because you came into contact with that at an age that you probably shouldn't have. And he's like, maybe. And I was like, yeah, I think we get, like, rose-colored glasses with stuff like that.
I can
We
see
do.
that, for sure.
And-
Because like with Catcher in the Rye, like everyone praises that, and then like the last time I read it, I was in my 20s,
Yeah.
and still liked it.
Yeah.
Right? And then I read it again in my 30s. I'm like, fuck this book.
Yeah.
He's a whiny little shit.
So, like, there's some movies where I go back and watch and I'm like, I think I just like that because I shouldn't have been watching it at the time. But, like, for me, Fast Times at Ridgemont High is one of those movies that still holds up. And that's not a controversial statement. Like, that's, like, one of the movies of that era that I think holds up for a lot of people. But, yeah, that movie still holds up. I actually watched that the other day. It was on TV. You know what doesn't fucking hold up? It made me really sad. Gremlins 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the Gremlins.
You haven't
seen
seen
Gremlins?
any of the Gremlins? Wow, yeah, I've seen them.
And then it made me think about all the Gremlins knockoffs of the era. There was Critters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was the Munchies.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot about the Munchies.
The Munchies is terrible. But I was like, yeah, man, the Critters was a knockoff of that, and then Munchies was a knockoff of Critters. But yeah, dude, I
The
love
Munchies totally sounds like a stoner movie. I
I
mean, like, seriously.
love Gremlins and Gremlins 2 when I was little. And I watched Gremlins 2 and I was like, man, Phoebe Cates are the only thing saving this movie for me right now.
Yeah. Were you guys, like, everyone knows that, like, I tended to watch a lot of Fred Savage shit when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always talk about like The Wizard. I mean, you guys
Yeah.
saw The Wizard.
Oh, yeah, on repeat.
And then Little Monsters too.
Yeah.
Also.
That I had
Okay.
to sneak watch because my mom wouldn't watch that.
I could see that.
So
'cause,
I would
like,
watch it when it was on television.
there's some words in that like where I could see. Yeah.
I had that on VHS and watched it so much that the tape snapped, and they wouldn't replace it for me.
That sucks.
So it was on KCOP 13 one day.
Oh shit.
And I had it recorded, commercials and all.
I mean, you have to get your fix somehow.
I had to.
I just those two movies, man, Little Monsters especially, like I don't know, like the soundtrack and everything. And then sometimes I look back at that, I'm just like, man, fucking Maurice is Howie Mandel. Like what the fuck?
And it's so funny because I always thought, like when I was younger, when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's the dude that plays Beetlejuice, because he's basically doing Beetlejuice in that whole movie.
I can see that.
And then when I, got older and started reading the credits and stuff like that, I was like, oh, that's holy shit.
It just trips me out to think that the guy that plays Maurice, the monster in Little Monsters, is fucking Bobby's dad in Bobby's World, because that's how I knew.
Yeah.
That was a fucking show too.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's enough digression. We can
No, more digression for a second. So what was it? We were watching on E, like we were on E, and Annie was watching Busy Phillips's show. She's got like a show that's called like a talk show, and so we were watching that, and Howie Mandel was on.
Oh wow, really?
And he fucking, she said, all of us here grew up watching you on Bobby's World. He went into the fucking Bobby voice, and I'm like, oh my god, it was amazing. I'm like, holy shit. And like, she asked him like, what would Bobby sound like, like as an adult, what would he be doing right now? And like, he did like the spot on perfect of what you would think he would. I mean, of course, it's his character, but I just like, man, like it was one of those moments where I'm like, I really loved fucking Bobby's World as a kid, and I kind of forgot how much I liked that show.
I remember seeing a comedy, like a stand-up special of his after Bobby's World was a thing.
Yeah.
And he was telling some not so Bobby's World jokes with the Bobby's World voice, and I was like, whoa!
Yeah. He was promoting some of his stand-up, and he said, I can't repeat, it's more for an adult audience and whatever.
Yeah.
Howie Mandel's actually a pretty fucking funny dude.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, my God. I mean, because, like, you're so used to seeing him do these things that are kind of more family-oriented, but, like, he's got this other side to him. Even when I was exposed to him, because I watched America's Got Talent when Howard was on.
Yeah.
And so I saw him on that, and I'm like, man, like, he's
very generic on that show.
He can be, but, man, he was, like, out of his mind on Busy on that show. Like, I was like, man, this is like, she was almost losing control of him. Like it was funny stuff. But man, Bobby's World.
Did you see Walk Like a Man?
No. What's Walk Like a Man?
It's a Howie Mandel movie.
You
gotta check it out.
No.
It's about a kid who's raised by wolves.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Comes into the city as an adult. They gotta teach him how to be a man.
That sounds familiar.
It's a great movie.
With there's a kid in that one too, right? Like a famous kid.
I don't. All I remember is Howie Mandel
Oh,
had a
yeah.
very specific scene in the mall where "Walk Like a Man" by the Four Seasons is playing.
Yeah, that's the only thing that pops in my
and he's playing with slime and all over them. He sneezes and everybody's freaking out because I think it's good shit. It's good shit. Go check out "Walk Like a Man."
So I don't know, like if everyone is just so intently listening and watching us, but the chat has been completely dead for the last 10 minutes.
I know Cheesy is probably way too
He's
young
there.
for any of this shit.
Do we have a gauge
real quick,
on Cheesy's age? Do we even know? Or are we just
Hey,
guessing?
Cheesy, how
I
old
think
are
he's
you?
like 22 or 23 probably.
Okay.
He looks like he's 12 though. I love it. It's my dude Cheesy.
Real quick, I want to know, how's the trip?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't here last week because I went to Seattle, and Seattle was awesome. It was kind of funny when we left. It was pouring rain here,
Yeah.
and then it was interesting. Like I kept looking at the forecast, and like the forecast in Seattle, like the weather just kept changing, like almost by the hour. I was like, "What the hell?" Or not literally by the hour, but I would check it. I would check it a few times, and first it would say it's gonna rain. Sometimes it would say it was gonna snow, and I'm like, then it was gonna be sunny the whole time we were there, and I'm like, of course we leave to go to a city that's known for rain, and it's fucking pouring here.
Yeah.
And I like the rain, so
You were
yeah.
kinda
And so when we left, I was kind of bummed, and so it was pouring when we left, and then we get to Seattle, and it was probably like it was always like like one day the high was like 26.
Yeah, I love it.
It was fucking awesome. But the second day it started snowing there, and like that wasn't like it was in the forecast and it wasn't in the forecast and it was back in the forecast again, and that was pretty cool because like I've had more now, but I've had very limited experience in the snow.
Yeah.
And when we were there, we just kind of thought that was kind of common there because like it's cold in Seattle, or it can be, and it rains a lot. So I figured it probably does snow there, but apparently that's not a thing.
No.
Like I guess it's just not common. I know obviously it snows outside of the city. I'm sure multiple times. But yeah, that was a fun part of the trip.
Cool.
The only part of it that kind of sucked is on Tuesday we were gonna rent a car and explore like outside of downtown a little bit more. But like Monday was a straight up snow day. Like businesses were closed, schools were closed, roads were closed.
Wish we could get that.
It was nuts. So then Tuesday, it wasn't snowing, but it was still so cold that like the ice really just hadn't melted.
Yeah.
At all, and so they were just saying, don't drive if you don't have to, and so that kind of
if you don't know how to drive on ice, don't fucking drive, y'all.
That kind of nixed our plan on exploring outside of the downtown area a little bit, but it was fine. Like we Ubered places and but yeah, it worked out. But it was trippy. The trippy part was like, I mean, I have pictures and it's just, I know there's other places in the world where this happens, but it's so weird seeing the ground covered with snow and then you look like you could throw a rock into the ocean. Like it's weird being that close to the water.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, I'm by the beach, I'm by the ocean,
Yeah.
and it's fucking snowing. And it was trippy, but like all the food that we had was fantastic. I had a lot of good local beers. Everything I drank was local in Washington or whatever.
Right.
But it was a fun trip. I really like it up there. It's much cleaner up there. The air. I learned on one of our Ubers when we were going to this really good sandwich spot that we found. The driver, he had just moved from I think he lived in San Francisco, and he moved up there like, oh, how do you like it and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, like I really like it. Like, you know, the weather takes a little bit to get used to, but I mean it's not bad at all. You know, like you just kind of have to be prepared and like maybe have a jacket at all times. Like, so I get the impression that the weather can be a little unpredictable there at times. But he said that the air quality is so much better than California that they don't even you don't have to do smog checks in Washington.
Oh shit.
There's no smog check, like there's no smog checking there. And I'm like, that's fucking insane. And you can feel it. Like it's interesting going outside and just like taking a deep breath, and you could tell the difference. And it's just so green and
it's probably
nice.
Even though it's raining, it's probably less humid because of that.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. And then just like, it's funny if you talk to people in Seattle, like when we were saying like, oh yeah, it's just so much cleaner, like especially like than LA and stuff, and they're just like, oh, it's funny, I've never heard people really refer to Seattle as clean, and I'm like, wait, what? And so it just
you also live in the dirtiest place.
Right. And it just lets you know that like people there like have a different standard apparently of clean, and don't let that trick you. Even though they were saying that, it was fucking clean. Like, I mean, it was absolutely clean. Like maybe not but for a downtown area,
I think the people there get used to a certain style after.
Yeah, the way that I described it is I feel like it really gave me a vibe of like Pacific Northwest San Diego.
I was just going to say when I was down in San Diego for Diamondbacks and Padres down there, like that downtown area right there.
It's ridiculous.
But it's way fucking cleaner.
No, that's what I mean. It's ridiculous. Like it doesn't feel like a downtown. Like
exactly.
When
for all the fucking bird scooters everywhere, those pieces.
I know.
But other than that, it was really nice down there.
Yeah, their downtown is insane. I remember when I was showing Rick around San Diego a little bit, and like we were in downtown. I'm like, look at like, dude, does this even look like a downtown? He's like, no.
Like with San Francisco going to AT&T Park, like it is so.
Yeah.
In that specific, I know there
in that area.
Yeah,
San Francisco is bad.
I know there's shitty areas of San Francisco. I listen to enough podcasts based out of San Francisco that I know that. But right there is really nice.
Yeah, there's shitty places like in any downtown.
Oh, of course.
I mean, you're not gonna avoid it, but yeah, San Diego especially. Like when we first were down there, it was kind of sketchy. Like when we'd go like get food in that area or whatever. But then when Petco opened up and they really started revamping downtown, like the gas lamp area and just that whole area by the stadium and stuff, and like pretty much all the main areas that you want to go downtown are really fucking immaculate. Now, of course, you can go down the wrong street outside of that area, like anywhere. But yeah, it was insane. But bottom line, Seattle was, like I said, had really good food. the people up there are really chill. Like they just feel less pretentious and stuff. And I liked it. I like it a lot up there.
Well, I'm glad you had such a nice vacation for my birthday.
I mean, like I said, I just figured like it's crazy. I'm like, man, I'm gonna fuck it. It's Mike's birthday. I'm gonna celebrate by going to Seattle. You know, like I threw a party for you. I was waiting for you to show up, but it just never happened.
Well, I had some not fake friends actually cook me dinner for my birthday last week. So
fake friends, my fucking.
What kind of fake friend are you? No,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you had a fun time on
it was
your
fun.
little vacation.
Yeah, it was cool.
I also didn't realize that Bryant hitched his wagon to your vacation.
Yeah, no, I rolled my eyes. But
until
I'm just
I saw all his posts. I was like,
at
least I know what Bryce and Andy are up to.
Well, he wasn't there the whole time. He heard that we were going. He's like, "Oh, can I come?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not like if you want,
I mean,
sure."
It's a free country. You can go wherever you want, Brian.
You know, but so he basically he got in on Saturday, which is when we got in, and then he left Monday. And I was like, "It's just up to you if that's worth it to you. You're gonna have one full day there." But it was cool. It was fun, and
Nice.
he enjoyed it too. We still fit in a lot.
That's cool.
All things considered. But yeah, then we were there till Wednesday, and yeah, it was just trippy. Like that weather, like it was insane to hear. Like they're just like, yeah, we don't normally get weather like this. Like it's cold and it rains, and but yeah, like and it's not like that it hasn't snowed there before, but I guess it's just not a common occurrence.
I have friends that live outside of Seattle out there. And like there was like 6 inches of snow on their roof, and she was like, "This is weird."
Yeah. So it was crazy. Like in the downtown area, like they got like a foot overnight. Like we woke up. It was awesome. So yeah, it was fun.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know if that was quick.
It's gonna get cut. Don't worry.
Okay. Cut it. Fucking cut it. I don't care.
That's
to its own
purely for the benefit of the people watching live
Yeah.
and listening to the audio.
Yeah. Especially if you remember our 300th episode, you got a nice exclusive story from me. And my adventures of having to go pee.
Anyways, so we shall get into the main show now.
You know, if this were Kind of Funny Games Daily, we'd be signing off right now.
Oh, God. Just stop listening already.
I almost stopped this week because, man.
I feel like I honestly feel like you can complain more than you enjoy.
Because Greg's been gone for like the last 3 weeks doing shit. Like, I understand he's taking a vacation right now. Good for him. He deserves it.
Yeah.
But like, goddamn, I can't.
Kind of funny. We love you, by the way.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be doing this stuff. We're trying to get nominated for all this stuff. For all we know, they're watching this
Fran
right now.
Marabella is not a good host. He's fine to listen to, but he's not a good host. That's all I'll say.
Maybe just getting used to it still.
Yeah.
But I hear you.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. I just thought he'd be better since he does a lot of Twitch streaming. And was like a video editor. Like,
Yeah.
not editing video, but he was, you know.
It takes a while to get into the groove.
Yeah,
Look at us.
and I'm not saying we're any fucking better, but
give it time.
the dig on the time was just for funsies. I really don't care.
Yeah.
The show's never that long anyway. It doesn't really matter to me. But it's just fun to make fun of.
No, I know.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Anyways, let's get into some movie news.
Shit, it's been a while. I haven't heard that in a while.
I know.
Okay.
First bit of news we have here is Anya Taylor-Joy to star in Edgar Wright's thriller Last Night in Soho, exclusive from Variety. We're all big Edgar Wright fans, and she's lately been in quite a few movies. Glass in particular, which just came out.
I don't know who she is.
Oh,
I mean, I think that's like
that's true though. I mean, she's kind of like a breaking
she's
out.
been in
Right.
she's been in Glass. She was in Split, and then isn't she in The Witch?
The
Is
Witch,
that what
yeah.
that's called? Yeah.
Okay, well, I haven't seen
That's
any of
all I
those,
know.
so-
I haven't seen The
okay.
Witch either.
Yeah,
I
fair
really
enough.
only know her from Split and Glass.
All right.
So yeah, she so far I believe the only actress that's been announced.
Okay.
For this project from Edgar Wright. The writer, let's see.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Well, first of all, I think isn't this like the first info we've gotten about his next film at all? Like now we know that it's going to be what is it? A psychological thriller? Is that what it said it was? Go up.
It's a thriller.
Okay. Yeah, thriller. I don't know whether it's psychological or not. I don't know. But yeah, it's called Last Night in Soho from Edgar Wright. Big Edgar Wright fan, so exciting. Plus, Wright wrote it with some what's her name? That's an interesting way to spell Christy. Krysty. Interesting. I can appreciate that though.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, because eyes suck, bro.
Yeah, fuck, that's why there's no I in my name. But yeah, Christy Wilson Cairns, or Carnes, however you say that, she was a writer on Penny Dreadful, which is a show that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, you
So
love that show.
Edgar Wright, with a writer from Penny Dreadful, has me excited. So yeah, it's a focused and working title co-production, and described as a psychological horror thriller. Exact plot details are unknown, other than the story being set in London Soho district. Production is expected to start this summer in London. And I think this is exciting. I'm really curious to see Edgar Wright try his hand on something like this.
Something different.
It's something that's more of a straight up thriller or horror movie, and not like a amalgamation of things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know, maybe there will be some comedy in it. I don't know, but I'm
sure there'll be some dry humor in there.
pretty interested in this for sure. So yeah, I think that's really cool
That's
news.
cool.
I'm excited to hear more about that. It's two things that I really like: Edgar Wright and Penny Dreadful, which
Yeah.
I'm still mad that that's gone. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think what has Edgar Wright done recently? Anything?
Baby Driver.
Okay, I didn't see Baby Driver.
Yeah.
I should say it. It's good.
Okay.
No, never mind. Yeah, so I brought this up, like I said, because we're all fans of Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
And I know Bryce is excited for well, you're more excited for his next project with Nick Frost, I'm sure, right? And Seven Peg.
Well, I mean, aren't we all?
Yeah.
You know, like whatever that is, but that hasn't
I'm
been
sure you'll
announced.
get whatever, or I'm sure you'll want anything that he has to offer.
Yeah, I like them all, like separately and together.
So, yeah, that's why I brought that up.
That's pretty cool.
That's
That there's more info about that, then I'm working on something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they're already set to start in the summer, I'm sure we'll probably get some stills.
Oh yeah,
After.
there'll definitely be more
in the fall or
information.
something.
I don't know how I feel. I still don't know how I feel, especially because I think at first wasn't about it, but I don't know how I feel about there being like a follow-up to Baby Driver. Because in this article it says right here that Last Night in Soho is his next movie, and then move the chat real quick, Rick. And he also has a draft ready for the next installment in the Baby Driver series. Like, I liked Baby Driver. I thought it was good, but like I don't know that I left that movie thinking like, oh,
It needs a sequel.
is there gonna be more? You know, so I don't know. Yeah, instead, just give me your next collaboration with Peg and Frost.
What if it is? What if that is the next club?
I don't think so, but that'd be dumb.
So yeah, there's that. I don't have any other news other than that, which is kind of funny.
Okay, speaking about, I'll move on to something real quick. Speaking of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, I don't think we need extra news.
I'm just checking.
Are you going to go see Fighting with My Family?
Yes,
That's
I do want to see
nationwide
it
next week, right?
Yeah, I would like to see that. I mean,
Yeah.
just because we're wrestling fans, so
Right.
obviously I'm interested because of that. And then I saw Nick Frost is in it.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Oh.
And Vince Vaughn,
Yeah.
who I like as well. So yeah, I
Oh.
definitely think I'm gonna see.
I don't
that.
buy Vince Vaughn as a.
I don't know that I like in the preview I don't either, but I'm
Right.
curious to see because I mean, it's hard for me like
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn is like forever the guy in Old School to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's hard for me to see him as anything else. And I know Vince Vaughn is known for other shit before that, but for me that's how I see him.
Yeah, I definitely plan on seeing it. I just don't know.
I don't know when either,
Yeah.
but I'm interested in like
Michaela oddly wants to go see it.
really?
She's like, you don't even watch wrestling though. She's like, I know, but it looks fun. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So we might end up seeing it.
Cool.
I think it came out this week, right?
No.
Limited. I think they're doing a limited thing, and then.
I don't think so, but I could be wrong. I think it just comes out on the 3rd.
Okay.
4th. I don't know.
Yeah, we never saw the trailer for that here, did we?
No, we were going to, and then I was out, and then the week after that, Bryce was out, and then it was just like, all right, it's like
Movie's already
it's a
come
month
out,
later
yeah.
now, so.
Yeah. Have you not seen the trailer?
No, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it actually looks good. I want to see it.
Definitely looks entertaining. It's funny, especially like if you are familiar with her dad
Yeah.
and how like out there he is, and I've heard a lot of stories from people who wrestled out there for her dad and mom, and like they're like they're the nicest people in the world, but they are out there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And yeah, Nick Frost is probably like personality and character wise the perfect person to play Ricky Knight. Perfect person to play Ricky
I
Knight.
love Nick Frost and Simon Pegg so much. So like I see Nick Frost and I'm just like, man,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Like that was just like the cherry on top for me. More
Yeah.
than Vince Vaughn. I like Vince Vaughn, but I saw Nick Frost. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
fuck. Nick Frost instantly makes me pay attention.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
All right. Now we got some trailers for you.
This is number 2 on trending. Good for Child's Play. So yeah, we're gonna watch the Child's Play official trailer, which I didn't even know was out until just before the show came
Before
on.
we get into this, I know a lot of people are hyped about this. I haven't seen it yet, but going in, I'm not hyped about this.
I'm scared.
I don't know if the word is hyped.
Excited, want it, whatever you want to.
We'll get into it
see.
after we watch. I got another story I could share with you guys, which I think I've told before to you guys. Maybe not on the air. Fuck it. I like making an ass of myself on the internet, apparently.
At Caslin, we believe that happiness is about more than entertainment. It's about being known, understood, loved. Introducing your new best friend.
What's that?
Is it? Linda Cardellini? Is that what you were thinking? However you
No.
say her name? I look like her to me. Okay, it's not her, but that girl is confused. Oh. Oh, fuck, what's her name? I know who you mean. Yes, that is her.
Smart that you don't hear him.
Or
Smart
see
that
him.
you don't hear him.
Ish.
Um,
Wow.
I don't know. I liked the
Aubrey
goofiness.
Plaza.
That's her name.
Aubrey Plaza.
I
Sorry,
liked the goofiness of the originals. I know they didn't start out goofy; they got goofy. Also, where the fuck's Jennifer Tilly? Do you know that she is gonna be 60 this year?
No.
Holy! Have you seen her lately? She
I
still
haven't.
looks amazing. All right,
So,
sorry.
Child's Play official trailer from the producers of It.
I'd call that a teaser, but yeah. I know they're calling it a trailer, but that is definitely a teaser.
Yeah. Comes Child's Play in theaters June 21st.
It's interesting. I don't know if that's something I want or need in my life. I might end up catching it later down the road. I'm also not a fan of like Bride of Chucky. Like I like those movies for one very specific reason, but I just don't like them for them being Child's Play movies. Sorry, Rick, go ahead.
Bye, Ash. We'll catch you later. Yeah, from what I've heard, it's not. It's going like it's a reboot, whatever, I guess,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be based instead of like a human soul, I guess.
Yes.
It's gonna be AI.
Sentient AI.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, with that being said, I'm actually interested.
Who programmed this AI? Like,
Like-
that's something we hear in this movie.
Huh.
Like, I'm kind of interested to see that side of it. But disclosure, I've never really seen the first Child's
Okay.
Play because I was a scared little kid
Oh
who
my
had a
God.
My Buddy.
Yeah.
Um,
I had one too.
I had one too.
Not for long after I saw those movies.
Exactly.
But with it being like technology based,
Yeah.
I'm interested.
That's it's definitely a cool
I think
take
it's
for
a good
sure.
modern take.
That's
Yeah.
confirmed?
I'm going based off what my coworker told me because he told me.
Oh, well, don't put that out there then. Come on.
Well, he
Have you
seemed to
learned
know about it
nothing?
because he said like they're actually still making Child's Play movies, and the fact that they're rebooting it, well, there's already been like the last. He said the last Child's Play movie came out like 2 years ago.
Really?
That they keep still.
Yeah, there's been one that was just like on Netflix or whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would like, let's wait till we...
Well, I mean, you can kind of see it in the trailer too. I mean, it's showing like a tech company
putting
putting
Well, they're just
things
things inside,
I
together.
mean, but they're just...
Like,
that's-
even if
that's-
you didn't tell me that, that's what
That's what I
I
would have
I
picked up
gotten
on that.
off-
That's what I picked up on
I
that
wouldn't
trailer
though,
anyway.
because that's how it is in the original too. Like, they're making the doll. The doll spoke. They're putting the doll together. Like, it's... Yeah.
I mean, I saw my nephew's Teddy Rumpskin. It's like
I had
all
one of those,
computer
too.
digitalized.
Really?
Yeah.
I had one of those when I was a kid too. That was
It's
that was
creepy.
dope.
I
That was
love
the shit.
Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about a reboot of Child's Play, and I was kind of half joking about the Jennifer Tilly thing, but I mean that'd be a way to get me to go see it.
What the hell?
Now that I'm older, I think I'd be okay with watching this.
Yeah. And
Unlike
you don't
with
have a My Buddy.
where I will not watch.
You should watch it. It's a good movie.
You need to watch it.
So yeah. It's also, I do like Audrey Plauz. So
Wait, the doll
what
is
about
called the
doll?
Buddy doll in this movie?
I guess so.
Buddi. But then did they say Chucky?
The kid
So
said
he
Chucky.
named him Chucky.
Yeah.
Was the doll referred to as a Buddy doll
I
in
don't
the
remember.
original?
I haven't seen
Because
those in a
that's
long
pretty
time.
funny.
I haven't seen the originals in a long time. I've just seen like the
Yeah.
Bride of Chucky.
Well, let's
more
hold off on
recently.
that whole tech thing until like that.
I mean, that's
One
kinda
of the
what I
key-
got
one-
from-
Okay, I found the keywords here for the
That's
for
what
the
I got from the
IMDb. It
trailer
says
itself.
artificial intelligence.
That doesn't mean anything.
It's the plot keywords.
That still doesn't mean it. You could argue that because the doll talks, yeah, sure, but I mean, there's no confirmation for sure that that's why he becomes a killer doll. Like that's a big plot change, and I don't see any confirmation of that yet. So let's just wait on the speculating of that. Anyways, that said, it looks. I mean, yeah, it almost to me it clearly is like a straight up reboot, almost
Yeah.
remake.
Yeah.
That's how it feels. I have a special relationship with Chucky. I feel like, that was probably my first horror movie in general. And like
Okay.
out of My Buddy doll. And yeah, like that doll went away. My brother, of course, would terrorize me and be like, that it's based off the My Buddy doll and stuff. And like, but it's one of those things where like, as a little kid, I felt like I have to see these movies, otherwise I'm a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I had some other friends, we all watched them. Our parents would fuck with us with this stuff too, and try to make us scared and creeped out and stuff. And like, here's my story. I was so dedicated to making sure I saw these movies, and then so I saw this in theater. I saw like the second one, I don't know, one of them in theaters with my parents, and I like in my head, I'm like, well, I don't want to be a pussy. I don't want to be a bitch or whatever. Like, so
Yeah.
I'm going to watch, like, I don't want to cover my eyes at any point. And at one point during the movie, and I'm pretty sure I've told you guys this story, but for the sake of those listening who maybe never heard it, at one point during the movie, I had to pee really fucking bad. Super bad. And I didn't want to get up and go to the bathroom because I didn't want to say that I didn't see the whole movie. And then I didn't want to have to put myself through, like, oh, I got to fucking watch it again because I missed those parts. So I had to pee so bad, I made it. And keep in mind, like, I'm probably under 10. I don't know how old I was, but, So I make it through the movie, the credits roll, and I tell my parents I have to pee. On the way to the bathroom, I peed my pants. But that's how long I was holding it for.
Oh, man, that's terrible.
So I want to see more. I'm not angry, flipping the table and all this stuff, like remake and all that stuff. I almost feel like it's my duty to see it at some point.
Yeah.
Whether I'll see it in theaters or not, I don't know. Like, that's to be determined because, again, I want to see more
I
of
think
it.
that's because we've become fucking desensitized to all these remakes and redos, dude.
Maybe.
Honestly, that's what I think it is.
I mean, maybe it's possible, but I mean, I'm still very hyper aware, but this has me just kind of intrigued.
Yeah, okay.
But at the same time, like, I know that's just a teaser, but the teaser didn't tickle me enough, I guess, to get me. It's a complete reboot, according to Broken Wolf. The trailer, I feel like, doesn't reflect that, though, because it felt very samey to me in this teaser. And I think I got excited because I feel like when I first read about it, I actually felt like, and here's Mike's favorite thing. I could have sworn I read something about it being, and I don't want to go down the same road where I just chastise Rick for being like, let's not talk about something that we don't know. But I thought I read something about this being like maybe darker or something and not so campy. And I'm like, oh, that could be interesting.
That's where everything's going.
That could be interesting, but that trailer didn't feel that way to me. Like, it felt very much like the original, and I don't know. I don't know how interested I'll be in just watching essentially the same thing but updated.
And I know that they didn't get super over the top until later in the series.
Yeah.
I know those first two movies were pretty harsh, man. They're pretty serious-ish movies. And like I said, it was later on that they became more comedic and more campy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's just what I've seen most recently are the newer ones.
Right. And I don't think the originals, like, I don't remember, like, because as a little kid, like, it was all freaky to me. So I don't remember if that camp and comedy was in there.
Or if it even came through because you're too freaked out.
Because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Now, Broken Wolf was saying that the plan is kind of like what I said, going away from the horror comedy thing that they started and staying to the horror-only genre. I'm like, if that's true, that's fine. But if that's true, then I don't like the choice of music for the teaser. Like, I don't know. Just like, it just felt like, tell me about my best friend. It's like that. That's not giving me like, oh, this is going to be a creepy thing.
But they took the music out, and it was just the vocals, and it was real moody, Bryce. Come on.
Yeah. So I need to see more. I need to see.
I think I do too,
more.
but I don't think I need to. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you, but I want to see more before I fully form an opinion. Because right now that just felt very samey, and right now that's not giving me a vibe that it's going to be.
Just kind of felt like every horror trailer we've been seeing for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I guess my best answer to what I felt about this trailer is underwhelmed. Underwhelmed. So far.
Okay.
We'll see if I become more whelmed.
I think Rick will still shit his pants.
Probably.
I mean, like, in my opinion, Rick has seen things that are far creepier.
Yeah, but nothing that resonates with your inner child like something like that would.
Yeah, I know.
This one probably not so much. If it was something like with It, I think I'd probably shit my pants there.
You need to see it.
But it wasn't that scary.
Yeah, that.
The new one wasn't that scary.
No, yeah.
But
there's a lot of distraction going on in that one. But yeah, we won't talk about
That's
that.
the stuff that I think Rick will like about those movies. So.
Yeah. Anyways.
What else we got?
We got another trailer. This one... Okay, these trailers I haven't watched.
Okay.
I'll put it out there right now. So this one's called Skyman.
Is there another one? Because I only see another tab up there.
Yeah, there's two.
Oh, you already closed Chucky.
Yeah, I already closed Chucky.
My bad.
Yeah, so this one's Skyman. I thought Bryce might like it because that has to do with UFOs and stuff. There we go.
Oh, I think I might have seen this.
This is a documentary?
Check 1, 2, 3.
Or is it a mockumentary or whatever?
Sorry. My name is Carl Merriweather.
I did see that.
And this is my sister Gina Campbell.
So probably kind of like fourth
her last name
kind
is
status.
Because she was married,
Mm-hmm.
but then she got divorced, and her husband's name was Carl too.
Carl, that's enough.
Sorry.
So, Carl, can you tell us how you became interested in UFOs?
If this is the one I saw, this is an awfully long trailer.
Well, to state it as clearly as I can, I was visited by one.
It is over 3
When I was a
minutes,
kid.
but...
The skies above Apple Valley were filled with more than just clouds last night. News 6 lines were lighting up with reports of an alleged triangle-shaped UFO in the
Some local residents claim to have seen an unidentified flying object just after sunset last evening, with one young man even claiming to have been visited by what he describes as a skyman.
He was tall and skinny. He didn't look human. I knew he wasn't a human. He said that he was looking for someone like me.
He has been so razor sharp focused, more than I've ever seen him. I guess I just figured he was finally like ready to tell his story.
I'm telling you, it was really, really loud. I was standing right here, and it was like, are you too sure it was not you?
It couldn't have been. We were way over the hill by the beacon. What is it? It's our magnet, or what's left of it. It was propelled somehow.
Okay, so what? You really think that aliens did that?
I don't know what to think, Gina. All I know is something's going on, and I don't think it's human related.
I have to be honest,
Yeah.
the acting is taking me out of it.
A sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
good.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this could be kind of like
I've always
the
liked
fourth
that.
kind, you know?
Yeah.
Which that movie still scares the fuck out of you, right? That movie's fucking good. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think I've ever taken a nosedive on something so fast.
Yeah, because so I'm into the content. That's going to be something that I'm going to probably absolutely wait and hear reviews on because I don't want to totally write it off.
Right,
like if
for sure.
If people say that it's fantastic, then
Yeah.
I'll probably check it out because that topic interests me.
For sure.
But wow, was that terrible?
Like, I understand what they're going for. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But whoa, bro.
Yeah, that yeah. I kept waiting for it to really
Pick
grab
up,
me
To pick
and it
back
just
up or
didn't.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it might have been interesting. Wow.
Let me see. We'll go to the There's only 5. I just want to see what some people say real quick. I could get a splinter from some of the wooden acting in this trailer. Shame as it looked pretty good to start with. Like,
Was that
fucking
Ryan
done.
O'Leary? That's like something Ryan O'Leary would say.
That has Bob Finger.
Well,
Oh my god, another comment. Telling fat to fork itself. Oh, that's fucking awesome. Audio levels are way off. Had to turn it up to hear Carl. A second. Yeah.
Okay. These are all technical.
That's
words.
just
All right.
not.
Yeah, man. Damn it. Because that started really
I
good.
know, yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Because I fucking love. I think we all did. Because you saw the fourth kind too, right, Mike?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Remember, you were at the house, though. Like, we were at the house, my parents' house.
Yeah.
And we were going to watch that. And Rick's like, if you're going to watch that, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And then we ended up watching Slam and Salmon. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you should.
That's
Fourth
really
kind
good.
is good.
Of course it is.
What? Slam and Salmon? Yeah, I know. We know.
Yeah, you're late to the party. We
Yeah.
know.
Well, I just mean I remember how much Rick, like, that was kind of Rick's gateway
Yeah.
into Broken Lizard.
Man, I really
So-
got bummed out about a minute
Yeah,
into
me
that
too.
trailer.
I
Shit.
did too. Yeah, I don't know.
But
Concept, everything
prove us
about
wrong.
it. Everything, it's like that
Prove
close.
us
You know?
wrong.
It's
Yeah.
like that close. All
That's,
right.
that's a bummer.
What we got next?
All right. Next one is The Haunting of Sharon Tate,
And then-
official trailer.
I have to pee.
I'm kind of right there.
Stars
too.
Hilary Duff.
All right. I like me some Hillary Duff.
Saban Films. So let's watch this trailer.
It's the time of the season when love runs high.
I knew it was coming.
Including actress Sharon Tate, were found dead.
I was like I was caught in something that I had no control over. I had absolutely no say-so as to what was happening there. I was just like a tool in the hands of the devil. It's the only way I can put it.
Killing all of us.
It's okay, it was just a nightmare. It's over.
Told you before. You got the wrong house. Yeah, cool, man.
Who is that?
Pretty girl. Pretty girl.
Interesting. This tape,
She's too thin.
it contains subliminal messages.
This person, these people, they're a threat to my safety and to the safety of my baby.
The line's dead.
What?
Why is Hillary Duff Hollywood's brightest? Or is that what Sharon Tate was?
Face it right now. You're gonna die.
Pretty girl. Pretty girl.
I actually don't think I'm familiar with this
I
real life
They
thing.
immediately, like, I love that they went with the subliminal message thing.
Mhm.
I don't know much about the story that it's based on.
Yeah.
But a movie I always talk about that I loved as a kid is The Gate, which is the same thing. We play a record backwards and it opens up a gate to hell in the backyard.
Mhm.
Love it. I love that shit, man. I'm all in on this.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with the whole with the Tate murders.
So, yeah, I believe it has to do with
Sharon
Charles
Tate.
Charles Manson, right? Where she
Yeah.
got up on
Yeah.
the cult
Uh-huh.
of Charles Manson, and like she was basically like the trailer showed like haunted by all the things that he would do, and like got caught up on the cult, and yeah, and this is just one of the 2 movies that I know are being made about this.
Really?
The other one is Quentin Tarantino, who's doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, he also has one. I think it's called To Die in Hollywood or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But yeah, I
This
saw.
is really fucking good.
At first, I thought this was because I didn't see the YouTube trailer of it. I saw it on Slash Film, and I thought it was a trailer for the Quentin Tarantino, but it wasn't. So I was like, oh, you know, we'll watch it anyways because I also couldn't find anything else. Right. But yeah, I think it looks interesting. I'll probably watch it.
Oh yeah.
Was there a release date?
I don't think so.
I don't think I saw a release date on it, no. But,
Could be wrong.
I don't see
Someshitwelike.com/you're wrong.
But we could find one right now.
I got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that looks interesting.
really good.
That
I'm
looks
in on that, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, because I'm not familiar with the Charles Manson stuff either.
April 5th.
Oh, awesome.
So I'd be interested in watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks cool. I was so unfamiliar that I don't even think I knew that Sharon Tate was an actress, and so I'm like, wait.
Oh, really?
Since when is Hilary Duff the fucking brightest star in Hollywood? Like, maybe 10 years ago.
Chris Hardwick?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Lydia Hurst.
Yeah.
That's where she looked. Okay, so that's her friend. I was like, that girl looks really familiar. That's Lydia Hurst.
Okay. I'm in on that, dude. I'm gonna go see that for sure.
Yeah, I think that looks cool. I
That's
wonder
really
if
rad.
that'll even be like released in theaters though.
Well, it's released April 5th. Oh,
No,
but it didn't say what?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
right.
well, because now I that you know how I sent you that thing about the Zac Efron Ted Bundy movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That James Hetfield is in as a cop, by the way.
Is he really?
Yeah, because Joe Berlinger or whatever, one of the guys that did the one that's still alive that did Some Kind of Monster.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he's got like a small role in it, but like Netflix bought the rights to that. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if that means that it will have a little bit of a theater released or if it's just going to be on Netflix. And that's why I'm wondering about this because.
Well, it was showed. Was it Skyline and Voltage Pictures? So it's probably gonna get a release. Maybe a small one.
You never know though.
I don't know. I can't.
You can't really tell these days what's
Yeah,
going where.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's move into video games.
Yes, sir. That's
Yeah?
what I said.
Okay.
It's what I just kidding.
Oh, you did? I wasn't
Yeah,
listening.
that's what I said. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that.
All right.
Cheesy, would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
Oh, Bryce. All right. So there's like a story that we'll get to, 2 stories we'll get to at the end of this, but I've been playing a lot of games this week.
Mm-hmm.
And so I bought myself Bayonetta 2 for Switch for my birthday.
Yes.
Had an ordeal with that, which was weird. So I ordered it off Amazon like last Thursday. And then it was supposed to get to my house on my birthday. And I was hyped because while we were here recording, I got the delivery notification. I was like, oh, yeah, it's there. When I get home, I'm going to put it in, be good to go. After I download Bayonetta, of course. Get there.
My mind went dirty.
Put it
I'm gonna
in.
put it in, good to go. Like, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
My head still...
So, well, I mean, it's Bayonetta. It's
Yeah.
over the top.
Gotcha.
So I get home, nothing there. I was like, well, that's weird. So I actually don't like calling Amazon, so I use the text chat thing.
Mm-hmm. Who likes calling anybody nowadays? I'm like, is there a text chat?
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. But
Yeah.
that wasn't working because it was just giving me options and wouldn't let me type until I was like, fuck this, I
Yeah.
guess I'll just call. So I called somebody and they're like, yeah, it said it got delivered. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I haven't got it. There's people here to receive it, but it's not here.
Mm-hmm.
So the woman goes on the other line, goes, well, really nice, by the way. And like at first it felt like she was reading off a screen, but then like
I hate that.
But like it turned into a personable conversation, and she's like, that sucks. Like that's not on the screen. That sucks is not on the screen. I know that it can't be. So she's like, that sucks. I'm sorry you're having to deal with this.
Wait,
Let's see what I can do.
I wasn't listening to you for a second. This is still via chat?
No, this is
you
on
got
the
it on
phone.
the phone. Eventually you did end up on the phone.
Yeah. So
Why'd you end up on the phone?
Because the text chat was being
dumb.
stupid.
Okay, got it.
So you really weren't listening.
I wasn't.
Okay. So she's like, well, you can't get a replacement or a refund until Monday. Sometimes the drivers, they're not supposed to do this, but sometimes the drivers will scan everything early and then just deliver on their way.
Yeah.
So if you don't get it by Monday, you can apply for a refund. I didn't get it Saturday night, didn't get it Sunday, didn't get it Monday. So I processed the refund, but I wanted Bayonetta on my birthday. I fucking wanted it. So I went to a GameStop and I was like, I need Bayonetta 2 for Switch. And he's like, oh yeah, I got that. And then reaches into the used. I was like, no. I want it new because the whole point of me getting this is I want Bayonetta 1. Oh, that's a download code. So I was like, yeah, I know. That's why I want a new copy. Well, I can sell you the digital. I said, no. I don't want to buy it used for $40 and then buy Bayonetta for $30 digitally. I don't want to do that. All right. Well, Downey has it. Probably Cheesy's store.
Okay. Well, what was the issue? They just didn't have it brand new?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, Downey has it. I'm like, I was at Whitwood. I'm not driving to fucking Downey to go get this game. I was like, yeah, no thanks. I'll pass. In that same center as a Target. I go to Target, one copy left in the display. Like he had to open the top and give it so yeah. I ended up getting it at Target, putting it in my Switch, downloading it while we were at Robert and Annie's house because they were nice enough to make me dinner and a cake for my birthday. And started playing it when I got home. And man, I forgot how much fun Bayonetta is.
Yeah.
It is so much fun. Like I love games like Devil May Cry and the early God of Wars, like super frenetic combat, speed all over the place. Like I love that stuff.
Yeah.
And I just was really excited to see how good that game is still, and it still holds up.
That's cool, man.
And I only played about a third of that originally because I was getting it through GameFly, and there was a lot of games on my queue at the time, so I played it for a day and then shipped it off. And it was literally like maybe 4 hours of the game. But I feel like I'm back to where I was in Bayonetta. And man, that's a fun ass game. Like I would recommend if you have a Switch to go grab a copy of Bayonetta 2 brand new so you can get Bayonetta 1 as a digital download because it's super fun. And it's very like brown and grayish, like the games of that era.
Yeah.
And it's such a stark contrast between that and what they did with Bayonetta 2 on Wii U because it's much brighter and vibrant and all over with color and like saturation, where Bayonetta 1 is really desaturated. But it's still a really fun game. I like the cutscenes. I like the over-the-top nature of it. So
yeah, I've never played. Rick, have you ever played a Bayonetta before?
No, never.
Yeah, neither have I. So I can't comment.
Stylish action combat is what that genre was called for a while, which I think is a stupid genre name. But yeah, you guys should give it a shot.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad.
Cheesy, why have you not touched your Switch since you played Smash Brothers with all your coworkers? Come on now.
Well, I played Smash recently.
I don't like it.
You did? Where? How?
Brian's place.
Brian? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Brian had some friends over. They wanted to.
Bryant?
Bryant, yeah.
Friends? Who?
Yeah.
Who?
It's coworkers.
Well,
friends.
Rick.
Oh, probably, was it Wolfgang?
Yeah.
And he has a Switch.
And then someone else, like 2 other people.
Oh.
And they brought it over and we were playing Smash and I still can't play that fucking game. Everything moves everywhere. I don't know where the fuck I was half the time. So
yeah, I always feel like I'm never doing anything when I play that. I've tried.
I played as Mewtwo, Fox, and Luke. I can't say that other Pokemon name. Lucuro. Okay. Whatever. But I mean, I didn't even know what the controls were or what buttons were what. I was just smashing them.
Yeah, it's not. I don't like it. I've never liked Smash. I gave this a shot too because Robert has it and I was playing it at his house. I was like, I just don't like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then we ended up playing Mario Kart.
Yeah, that's the shit
that
right
was
there.
Fun.
Yeah. But yeah, give Bayonetta the shot if you haven't before, especially now on Switch when you can get it like in that 2-pack.
Yeah.
The other game I've been revisiting is Tom Clancy's The Division. I remember, I think we all played like a beta or like a demo of it or something.
I didn't.
I think you did. I'm pretty sure you did. Because you thought about getting it, but
maybe?
you never did.
Yeah.
And I had it, and I played it solo for a while, and I just don't like matchmaking with people I don't know,
Right.
which we'll get into in a little bit with another game. But yeah, like, they've made it infinitely more soloable now. And I was like, Division 2 is coming out. Like, I'm kind of hyped about that because I liked the first game. It just wasn't fun by myself at the time. So I went back into that, and like, I'm about level 9. And I haven't really been doing main story missions. I've been doing a lot of the side quests and leveling up and stuff. And that's a really fun-ass game. Like, the shooting feels good. The weapons feel good.
Is that the one where you have to work as a team? Like, literally have to work as a team?
No, you can. But you
or
don't.
is that the one where you can actually turn on your person?
You can't. You can do. I don't think you can turn on your person.
Or I'm thinking a different game.
Yeah, there was games. I think there's online multiplayer with that where you go in as a squad of 4 against other squads of 4, and you can request.
I remember
an
the
evac.
E3 demo where they're like, "Oh, I'm over here in the west wing, over here in the right."
You can request an evac in the online stuff in the dark zone, but while you're waiting, it lets everybody else in the map know, hey, these people are trying to get out of here, and they can come and kill you and steal your shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I probably won't engage with any of that stuff, but I really do like playing that game and the way it feels, and it got me really hyped to play the Division 2. I don't know if I'll get it right away because of the way prices have been falling lately.
Cheesy just asked if we're going to pick up Division 2, so that answers that, or
Yeah.
Anthem. Probably no and no for
No.
me. Jump Force. What's Jump Force?
Jump Force?
Jump Force is a shitty fighting game.
Probably, okay. I don't know. Rage 2, Devil May Cry. I've never really played any Devil May Cry, so I don't know.
I really liked the Ninja Theory DMC game, and I know it's going back to Capcom, and they're making their own Devil May Cry 5 now, and I don't know. I like those games. Like I was saying, I like Bayonetta and Devil May Cry and God of War. So I might give it a shot, but I don't know if I'll get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the Division's super fun. Might be getting Division 2, just don't know when. Like, there's like, Ubisoft is having some ridiculous sale. Far Cry 5 is $15 right now. That game came out like in September or October.
I saw that, yeah.
$15.
That game came out, I feel like, with like little to no fanfare too. It just came out.
No, it was kind of a big deal.
I don't remember it being a big deal, but that's fine. Let's not fight about it.
It definitely was at E3 the year before it came out, because it had that crazy trailer with like the religious overtones and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And then
that's right.
the E3 stuff was like, woo, blow shit up, and everybody's like,
Yeah.
They didn't stick the land. But they should, like, this is the model with Far Cry. They release a tone and mood trailer and then show you gameplay, which is kind of opposite of what the mood and tone is. But
Yeah.
that's just what they do. That's what they've been doing for 3, for 4, and now for 5. Like, it's 3 games deep where they've been doing that now. They shouldn't be surprised. I played about 10 hours of that. I know Cheesy's played a bunch of Far Cry 5, but it's like $15, and I almost bought it. But I was like, I didn't really enjoy what I was playing to where I'd want to spend money on it, because I really liked Far Cry 4.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'll just wait and see when the Division drops in price like that and probably pick that up too then.
Yeah, why not?
Especially like if it has the same issues out of the gate that the first one did, like every online loot-based multiplayer shooter has, and then fixes later on when it's way cheaper.
That's the pattern.
I'll just wait.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else we got?
Early impressions of Hong Kong.
Hong Kong Massacre.
Massacre.
We watched the...
Mike went to Hong Kong recently. Here are his early impressions.
We watched the trailer for that game last week. Bryant sent it to Rick and I in a text thing. I don't know if you were in that one or not. No,
He sent it to me too. I think I didn't watch it though.
I
didn't think I was out. And forgot.
I started playing it. I've only done like 4 of the missions. I think there's like 36 missions or something like that. And either I've gotten worse at video games, or the controls just aren't as tight as I would hope them to be. Because I played a lot of Hotline Miami and got really good at that game. And this is basically Hotline Miami mixed with John Woo, like I said last week. And it's really fun, but it's super frustrating. And it's really hard. And I think that's one of the reasons why I played it for so long the other night, and I've only done 4 missions, because it is really hard. Like, it's very unforgiving and brutal. Like, you have a dive button where you're kind of immune to bullets at that time. One shot kills you and one shot kills them, but they can dive too, and the AI is very good about dodging and stuff. And then there's a slow-mo button, and I wouldn't say you get penalized for slow motion, but like, it's a star system. Like, it's 3 stars per level, and it's no slow motion, perfect aim, which is only fire enough bullets to kill every enemy, no extras, no misses, no nothing like that. And then there's a time star. So complete the level in under this amount of time and you get a star. So I wouldn't say you get penalized for using the slow-mo, but like, why would you put a achievement or a reward for no slow-mo when that's a huge part of your mechanic?
Yeah, that seems pretty weird. I guess maybe for the challenge of it? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. And like, so the stars unlock weapons, but all the weapons function at basically the same. It's like shotguns are different because you have to cock it in between each shot, so it doesn't shoot right away, so you're vulnerable, but it can go through walls and like, so there's subtle differences.
Sorry, why is my head always thinking like just all that stuff was sexualized for me? I'm a student, Mike. I'm sorry, I'm a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
So like they handle differently, but it's one shot, one kill essentially. So it's like, why would I ever use a shotgun?
Yeah.
Unless if I'm close enough, it can take out two people at one thing, you know? Like, which I don't know, which could be the case. I haven't gotten that deep into it yet. You can pick up weapons that the enemies drop. It's, like I said, it's super fun. The music is great. I love the style. It's like early 90s is where it takes place. So, yeah, it's super fun. It's $20. It's totally, like, it's completely worth that and more. They could have charged $30 for this. I'm glad they didn't, because I know Hotline Miami was a cheaper title. And this is, like I said, this is basically Hotline Miami with prettier graphics, even though I really love the 16-bit style of Hotline Miami.
Yeah.
And Hotline Miami was definitely more of a Drive vibe to it, like the movie Drive.
Mm-hmm.
And this, like I said, is totally John Woo, which is, you know,
That's
I love
cool.
that shit. So, again, not a review, just I've done 4 levels. It's super fun. This is not a Rick game. We were talking about it last week, and you're like, I don't know. It seems like a lot going on.
Nah.
This is a good Rick
I can tell
game.
just by looking at it.
This is a good game for you to stream. This is not a good game for you to play to have a good time.
Oh, one of those.
Yes. This is one of those games where Rick will throw shit. Rick will be screaming and yelling, maybe break a controller. This is that type of frustration with a game, but it's super fun. Let's see. We'll talk about the Nintendo stuff. The free games for Nintendo Online service this month are Super Mario Brothers 2. I won't say best Mario game because I understand that's subjective. But it is my favorite Super Mario Brothers game of that 1, 2, and 3 on the NES. And Kirby's Adventure, which I don't have a lot of experience with. Did you play Kirby's Adventure? No?
If I did, I don't remember.
Rick, did you ever play Kirby's Adventure?
I don't think I played any Kirby games.
Okay. I had Kirby Spinball for Game Boy, which is so dope.
Game Boy
yeah.
games.
I might land more with Rick on that. Like, I don't know if I played much Kirby stuff. It might be one of those things where when I see it, it'll come back to me.
Right. So, again, cool that those games are coming, but I am so hyped for Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah.
Like, why wasn't this in the initial offering? I initially thought maybe it was a licensing thing because it was a different game that they put Mario in, but apparently not. I guess they just wanted to make us wait. And then I also saw in an article, and I was reading it last night to find like kind of confirmation of what Kirby game it was and all that, that I guess Nintendo's happy with the online sales, but they're not happy because it's a lot of short-term subscriptions that were sold, like the monthly or the 3-month, and not a lot of the annual. And so I can't remember. Like they even said we're gonna be like, I can't remember.
Boost.
Yeah, they're gonna boost it. We're gonna put more in.
I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the president, right, who said this?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. It's what I find interesting is you're starting to get some of the new president's touch on things. Like he's starting to speak a little bit more, and you're starting to get an idea of where he might take the company.
And he's very reactive, which I dig. It's like, we don't like that people aren't subscribing for a year, so we are going to we're going to incentivize that.
Right. And apparently he speaks English too, so I think it's interesting. I mean, not that matters, but I mean, I want to say...
Well, I mean, we don't get wonky translations. Like,
right. So I think it's cool. But yeah, like... That's the thing that I'm just real excited about, not to hijack this.
No, that's why I brought this up, because I wanted to bring up his stuff specifically.
I'm really interested, and I have been for a while. Once, like, okay, we got our new, like, potentially long-term president, young president. Let's see what he does with Nintendo. Like, completely new voice.
Yeah.
So, highly interested in that.
I hope they go out and get some licenses from third parties so they can bring games that we wouldn't necessarily expect to come to the online service because they were third-party stuff. Like, I know we got like Ninja Gaiden, which was, but a lot of the stuff was Nintendo published that they've put up, right? But just not Nintendo developed.
I think so.
But yeah, man, like I would love to see Bases Loaded 2.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite baseball games of all time. Specifically, Bases Loaded 2, because it had like feature-wise, I think it was pretty perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bases Loaded on SNES looked nice, but I don't think it felt as good as previous games in that franchise. I think that was a big problem with early SNES games too. It's like, here's a prettier version of what you've been playing, but it just didn't feel as tight.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, I don't think it'll ever happen because they'd have to go back and, like I was telling you the other day, a birthday present my uncle got me, they changed the ROM for a Steel Cage Challenge. But I would love to have some of those old WWF games, but we'll never get those because of that.
Awesome. Yeah. Sucks.
But yeah, it's I'm really, really excited about those games coming. I'm really excited about the direction that this dude wants to take Nintendo and how he's being reactive to the community and talking about adding to the online service instead of keeping it. Well, what people are paying, we'll just keep it that way. Like,
right.
I bet after 3 months, because it's been more than 3 months now, I bet after 3 months, they didn't see as much of a turnaround as they wanted to see.
Yeah.
And so here we are.
Apparently they have 8 million subscribers already, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool.
Is awesome, but I mean, it's also really cheap.
Right. Like
so that's part of it.
I mean, I ended up switching to. Did I talk about this on the show where I switched to the family plan? I think
you talked about it to me.
Yeah. Okay. I had a super like painless experience with Nintendo
you definitely
when it comes
talked about it to me.
The Nintendo Online service. You know, for Christmas, my son got a Switch and my nephew Ryan got a Switch, and I was like, I'm just gonna get the family thing, and so I contacted Nintendo. I was like, hey, I want to switch over to a family plan because there's gonna be new Switches in my household. And for Christmas, how would I go about doing that? Do I just have to outright buy it? Am I losing the remaining 9 months that are left on my single plan? And like they full on sent me a prorated refund for like $14.99 or something like that. It's almost $15 basically. Yeah. And then we're like, here's $15 back. We've canceled your singular subscription. Just get the family plan and add your Switches to the family plan. I was like, sweet. So it was super painless. Yeah, super painless procedure.
That's awesome. I hate you.
Yeah.
He's fucking taking video and pictures of us right now.
So I definitely am very happy with like the direction of Nintendo, even if I'm not like we talked about like with Metroid being kind of restarting and how I got kind of worried about other things because of that were kind of announced around the same time that we haven't really seen anything about. Like I didn't think they were in trouble whatsoever, but it just got me kind of concerned about where Nintendo was going and what their release schedule is going to be like in 2019, aside from I guess Animal Crossing, which they said was 2019 initially, but we don't know for sure. They've talked about having a mainline Pokemon game in 2019.
Did they actually announce? Well, Pokemon, yes, but Animal Crossing, I don't remember there being a date. I just remember
it said 2019 on that video where they announced Isabella's character in Smash, and it said coming in 2019 Animal Crossing. But yeah, like I don't know. I'm not necessarily worried, but at the same time, I was like, uh-oh. There's like caution lights going up for a minute here. We'll see what happens. Yeah. But then this came out where he's like, yeah, we're happy with the amount of subscribers we have, but we're not happy about the long-term viability of this. Yeah. So we're gonna definitely do something to kind of boost those numbers. And then Mario 2.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like Nintendo, and I think it's the narrative to watch, and
for sure,
because I feel like Nintendo getting a brand like a new president. I mean, it's huge. It's big. I mean, obviously, Iwata passing away, like that sucks, and then
the interim guy.
Why am I forgetting his name? I knew it for so long.
Yeah.
It's fucking the interim. Damn it. Anyways, whatever. I'll look it up later. But the guy that took over, you knew he was going to be temporary because he's a little bit older person. They said straight up that he was interim. But now we've got their new president, new direction, and you knew it was going to take a little bit before you started to see
fingerprints on
what he was going to do, because they obviously probably already had plans in place. And I'm not saying there's going to be wholesale changes, but people that always say things like, oh, well, Nintendo gonna Nintendo, and it's like, you might need to wait a little bit on that, because it's new president, possibly new direction, and who knows. And I think that is a really interesting narrative that I'm wondering if maybe we'll see a little bit more of like at E3 or as this year progresses, that I think is going to be really interesting to follow. Whether it's different or not, I think it's going to be interesting to follow, because it's just been a long time since there's been a new person in charge, someone who grew up playing Nintendo.
Right.
And I think that's really cool.
And to like put the brakes on and say, no, this isn't working. Let's get Retro to do Metroid Prime 4 like we should have to begin with.
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't have happened before. Like on Wii U, Star Fox had troubled development. They talked about that before the game came out. Then the game came out and it was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like that would have been a prime candidate for, you know what? Let's start over.
Yeah.
Because this is not working. And yeah, they did that with Metroid Prime, which is a huge...
Right. It's a big deal.
Metroid's an old franchise going all the way back,
Right.
but it is a modern thing that people look at as iconic because of the Prime series.
Yeah. Tatsumi Kimishima.
There you go.
That was going to bug me. I took that news a different way. And I think I might have talked to you about this a little bit. I mean, that news sucks, but Nintendo in recent years, for a while now, a lot of times they aren't like Sony and Microsoft, and this is not a knock on them at all, but companies that have a tendency to announce games that are still years away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they do that quite often. Nintendo lately has been more in the habit of like, oh, this comes out 6 months down the road.
I think when the Switch came out, they felt like they were backed into a corner and had to start saying things like Metroid and Yoshi and Kirby, and like they were like, hey, here's a bunch of attract screens. We got nothing else right now, but this shit's happening.
Yeah.
And I feel like they got backed into the corner with that. Like they had to.
Totally. And you see this sort of thing happen in games all the time. Like, I mean, I'm just trying to think, but you'll hear like, well, Microsoft announced this game. Like, where is it? Are we going to hear about it this year? Like, with Sony, like The Last Guardian. Everyone's like, what happened to The Last Guardian? Or Dreams or whatever, you know?
Kingdom Hearts fucking 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3. And it makes you wonder, you know, because this is kind of new or newish to Nintendo for doing this. It makes you wonder how often what happened just now with Nintendo, this actually happens in the video game industry.
Right.
And so, if anything, I came out of it thinking like, good on them for not just being quiet about it and making people wonder.
Right.
You know, and like they didn't like the direction it was going, and so it's like, look, you know, here's the deal. We're starting like they didn't have to do that. I like the transparency, so I think that's really cool. And then there's a lot of people that left that news like, oh well, Retro's doing it now. It's like, well, what have they been working on? Does that mean like whatever they're working on? It's like, no, it probably just means it probably means that it's done, you know, and maybe that's to come. And then I know we don't normally talk about rumors that much on this show, but from what I've heard, by next week we might have a lot more Nintendo stuff to talk about because there's a rumor that there's going to be a Direct this week.
Okay.
On the 13th. We'll see if I'm right. Not that it's my story or my rumor, but I mean, like that's what I've heard. So we'll see. So there might be some more Nintendo news to talk about next week for sure.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye out for that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm really happy about the direction.
Yeah, like I'm excited.
Like I said, I was really kind of like, a couple weeks ago, and then this was like, okay, cool.
Right. So like, I mean, I left that like it sucks, but I left that like feeling really positive.
Yeah.
And there's also a ton of rumors saying that the Metroid Prime trilogy is already done and is coming to Switch.
Yeah.
And I've heard that too. So
I'd buy that.
Like, yeah, me too, totally. And like, I don't want to have like a half-baked or a shitty Metroid game. So again, good on them for doing that. And maybe this is just a lesson where like, maybe you shouldn't announce something until you're already really confident in the direction. And this goes for anybody in the video game industry, because then you avoid these situations of, you know, what's happened with like, and I'm not picking on them. I just can't remember when this has happened with Nintendo recently, but where you have games where people are like, hey, Sony, hey, Microsoft, you guys announced this like 3 years ago at E3. Like, what's the update? You know, where is this? Where is that? You know, and like, it sucks. I know people get frustrated with Nintendo when it's like, well, what's coming? Like, you know, like you guys are just announcing stuff like, you know, Sony just announced that there's going to be a new Uncharted in like 2016. And like, you guys are just announcing a game that's coming out in October or whatever, you know?
The last time I can think of something like that happening wasn't from one of the major platform holders. It was from id with Doom 4, where they were making a Doom 4 video game, and they were making it and hated it because they said it just felt like a Call of Duty knockoff. And there was like, they demoed it, there was video of it out there, like there was people had hands-on with it, and they're like, no. And then in 2016, we got the Doom reboot, which was them going back to the drawing board and be like, okay, what makes Doom Doom? Let's do that now, since we have the technology to do what wanted to be done in the 90s. We can actually do it now. And that game, that single player, was amazing. It was like the best 5.5 hours I spent playing a video game in 2016.
Yeah.
So like and they were kind of not as transparent, but when they started over again, they said, hey, Doom's on hold. We got to start from the beginning and go back at it in a different way because we didn't like what was coming around. And I think that's like the last time I can remember something like that happening.
And that sort of thing sucks, but I appreciate the transparency
Right,
for sure. And so to take it back again just for a second, even more so than what's the PS5 going to be like, or the next Xbox going to be like, or is there going to be like why am I blanking? Like what do they call the PlayStation Pro? Like, what were they calling those when they would do that?
Yeah, the half-step consoles.
Yeah, is there going to be that? Like, is there going to be, I just fucking said it, is there going to be a Switch Pro or whatever?
Yeah.
I think even more so than that, like for me, honestly, like one of the stories that I'm most interested in video games right now is to see what a new Nintendo president is going to do. And I might not see the fruits of that labor for like another year or so, but I'm low-key following that narrative.
As the kids say.
And I think it's really, really interesting. I'm excited to see what that could be and what that could mean.
I think all three of those platforms right now have very interesting stories to tell.
Yeah.
How is PlayStation going to move forward? Because people, and this is dumb, people feel like that PlayStation has gotten complacent again because they haven't been out there making these big, grandiose fucking announcements. Mm-hmm. Because Microsoft has. But the reason Microsoft has is because they fucking had to. They had to do a complete 180 from what this last box was.
Yeah.
And Nintendo, like, and again, with going to Microsoft and like, how are they going to come out of the gate swinging with their next console? Because they have to come out of the gate swinging with their next console. And then Nintendo, like, where's their narrative going? Like, I think they're all three super interesting right now, but I'm with you, man. Nintendo's the one I'm keeping my eyes on.
Because I just think that's it's always when there's a changing of the guard, and I know it's just but still, he's the fucking president. You know what I mean? Like, but in anything, like in sports, when there's a new general manager, a new coach, new friend, I immediately, like, whether it excites me or disappoints me or not, it puts my antennas up because I'm like, okay, like it's always intriguing. Like it's kind of like a fresh paint of coat, you know? Like it really is. And so I always find that sort of thing interesting. But in terms of the Sony thing, it's like, look, if they're being quiet, you guys, we're in the 6th year of the PlayStation 4. You know, like that the PS4's life is winding down in terms of this being this, like, this is the system that we're going to back and push. And like, Sony and all these other things they could talk all they want about, oh, well, we've got a 10-year plan, or like, look how long. It's like, that might be true. Like, just because they announce a new system doesn't necessarily mean the other one's going to die.
Right.
But of course you're going to can't talk. It's going to get quiet because they aren't ready to talk about the PS5 yet.
They got their heads down and they're working on something.
Yeah. Basically. And so it is what it is. But yeah, man, I'm anxious to hear if this direct rumor is true, and yeah, I'm super curious to see what Furukawa does, I think that's his name, with Nintendo into the future.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's been little things where, like, he's kind of had during events or things that really could have just been non-news things, he's said some things that have kind of been interesting where you wouldn't expect it. It's like, oh, wow, I wasn't expecting that sort of story to come out of an event like that. Like, you know, so yeah.
Like one of them was that indie direct that they did, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, we want to do like 500 indie games by the end of the year." It was like something outrageous like that. Like, it's like normally you wouldn't even pay attention to what's being said. You want to see what games are coming, and then he comes out with like, "Oh, we're going hard on indies, guys. This is not like, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're showing you like 50 games. I think it was like 20 actually at that particular direct I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And this is a lot." But there's a lot more to come. They didn't have to do that. No. They could have just slowly trickled that stuff out and surprised people. They're like, no, be ready. It's coming.
Yeah. You're going to talk about Apex?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm going to pee. I don't know. I can wait.
No, go ahead.
And I don't have anything to say.
Apex is something that I saw. Their story is kind of crazy because they had industry journalists and influencers and shit. They flew them out to LA last Tuesday, and they had like an event and had to play it, and like this game wasn't announced. This was just like, oh, Respawn's doing an event in LA, you guys come down. So you go down and you play this game that people assumed was going to be Titanfall 3, which I was kind of hoping would be. Ends up being this game, Apex Legends, which is a squad-based, hero-based battle royale game. So there's 60 people on the map, teams of 3. And I saw it and I was like, man, this looks right up my alley. I love the tone. I love the art style. I love the idea. I haven't really gotten to battle royale games because I don't like the downtime. Like, you drop on the map and then literally your first 5 minutes is looting and trying to find weaponry. I'm not a fan of that. Like, if you have specialized classes, like give me specialized classes. And I don't need to be dropped into the action right away. I'm okay with the tension and the build up to the firefights, but it just, I don't know, it feels artificial in battle royale games to me, because it's just like, well, you start with nothing, so you're gonna have to stay separated and find all this loot and then figure out if this is what you like, and if not, oh well, you're just gonna have to go anyway because of this shitty pistol and this terrible SMG with really bad recoil. But that's what you got to begin with. It's randomized, go for it. But I like the art style. I like the talents. I like, it's got like an Overwatch / Paladins kind of feel to it. You have, each character has abilities. They have an ultimate attack kind of thing. And they're all different, and they all charge at different rates. And I think that's a super smart way to go about a game like this. Because you have the very sterile PUBG, which is very tactical. And you've got the super over-the-top cartoony Fortnite, which is super actiony. And like, this is somewhere in the middle. And like I said, I got really excited because I thought this was going to be the Battle Royale game for me. I played it for about an hour and a half last night. And I just don't like the pace of Battle Royale games, I guess. Because even Fortnite, when you start, it's a lot of looting and gathering and resource management. And you can't really resource manage once you get into a firefight, because if you do, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, you are.
A guy dropped on the map with the squad last night, and we got to this building, and I was never the jump master, so the jump master chooses where the squad jumps, and it's randomized. But I don't know the map, so anytime I got that, I declined and let somebody else do it because I don't know the map. And
sorry, you want to know what I like when I disappeared, when I'm on the show, you guys talk video games? Is Rick gets engaged. When I'm here, Rick's just on the laptop, so I felt like almost staying off to the side for a second.
I was being producer.
So we dropped into this area on the map, and there just happened to be nothing there. And another squad dropped, and this was like the most fun I had with it, because it was me and my 2 squad mates against another squad, and we didn't have any weapons, so we just got into an epic fist fight. And it was kind of cool. It was really fucking cool. But at the same time, like, you have these characters with abilities and talents, and like, they have designations like, oh, this one's a healer, and this one's a sniper, and this one is the soldier. But when you drop, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's boring. And it starts boring. Because you have like 3.5 or 4 minutes or something before the ring starts closing in on you and you have to move. And that whole first round, all you're doing is hunting for resources. And I really hope that this would be the Battle Royale game I got into. Maybe I just need a squad. Maybe I just need to hang out with cheesy
people.
And, you know, my squad ended up winning a match last night, but I didn't do anything in the fucking game. I mean,
that's not satisfying.
I picked the healer because I'd been getting really into healers with paladins, so I was like, oh, I'll pick a healer. It's got a cool thing where your ultimate is you drop a pod and it heals everybody in the vicinity. So if another squad's in the vicinity of your bot, they can heal on it too, which is weird. So I guess I didn't not do anything. I was definitely managing my ult and healing when I needed to heal people and stuff like that. But like, I played for almost 2 hours last night. I got no kills. Like, there was a match where I literally did no damage to any opponents because I was focusing on healing.
That's not fun.
It's not fun. And it really bums me out. And I guess, like I said, I just maybe just squad up with Cheesy and get into the game with people that I know, and so we can talk and actually coordinate. But what I will say is this game does a really good job of having contextual chatter with your squad without having to have a headset. R1 is like a multifunction button. If you tap R1 on something, it'll say, hey, here's some armor if you need it.
So kind of like Rocket League.
Yeah. Hey, here's some armor. Hey, here's a gun if you want. I'm not using it. Here's this. And then if you double tap on an enemy, it says, there's enemies here. And so while you're down but not out. So while you're down, you can tag enemies for your squad, and it'll pop up on their map that I tagged an enemy here, and they can come and help you or whatever. So like, they have really good contextual communication without having to be on a headset, and that's something I really did appreciate about it, because a lot of games just don't do that well.
Yeah.
Especially that simple. Like, Overwatch and Paladins have like voice lines and stuff that you can choose from, but it's like you have to pick up a wheel and then pick your thing and then say it. Oh shit, I'm dead. now it's completely pointless. But this is just a quick taps or holds or double taps of the R1 button, and it's super intuitive and it feels really good. I love the way the mechanics feel because I like Respawn games. I like the way they make shooters. I like the character designs. I like the art. I like so much about this game, except the actual playing of it, and that might just come down to me needing to squad up with people I know.
Yeah, so try that first and then see what happens. I have to be honest, like this game was not even on my radar.
It was on nobody's radar.
Yeah.
They didn't talk about it until last Tuesday when they had people fly out.
Explains it.
Yeah, they had people fly out. It's funny because I was listening to the Bombcast and they had to wrap up because Brad had to leave and Brad's got to go to LA and check something out. Like they wouldn't say what, they couldn't say what, but it ended up coming out that a lot of people were going into LA for a Respawn event, and I was like, oh cool, is this gonna be Titanfall 3? I love Titanfall 3, and it ended up being Apex Legends, and they're like, oh, we're dropping it on Monday. You can't talk about it till Friday though. And so Brad said that he got to LA, did the event on Tuesday, came straight back to the office after in San Francisco, and they recorded their video because he's like, we need to do this now because there's no way this is not gonna leak before Friday.
Yeah.
So we need to record this now, so as soon as shit leaks, we can put our video up. And sure enough, things ended up leaking out like on Thursday and shit like that.
Huh.
And because influencers had different embargoes than press, which I think is fucking garbage. I understand why they do things like that, especially with the Twitch community and the YouTube gaming community and all that stuff. But like, getting people to just blindly praise a game might help your day one sales, but if it's broken as fuck, it ain't gonna help in the long run. And you need people that will objectively let you know, like, hey, this has good potential, but it's just not where it needs to be right now. Where I don't feel like I get that with a lot of YouTube and Twitch people that get flown out to events. There are some that are totally above board and do that, but it's just weird that they got an earlier embargo than the press.
That is weird.
Yeah.
So I don't like that.
I would say you guys should try it. Rick, it's a loot driven first person shooter. It's got Destiny vibes in there. But it's competitive, very competitive. And yeah, I'm gonna try and squad up with some people and
well, Cheese is going off there in the chat.
Yeah.
You and him and Wolf should.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are gonna have to carry me because you've been playing a lot of it, Cheesy. I know that. I've been seeing that every time I turn my PlayStation on. It's like Cheesy's playing Apex Legends.
What's out right now? It's a demo or is it a free to play game?
No, it's a free to play game.
Gotcha.
With microtransactions, but it's not like I didn't pay $60 for this game and then you're gonna charge me for everything else. Like
yeah.
What people were complaining about with Battlefront and with Fallout and a bunch of other things like. Same with Paladins. I've spent probably $40 in Paladins, which is still less than I would have spent on a full retail game, but I've played it for 200 hours, so I've gotten my money's worth for sure. But I'll be interested to see how this shakes out for me because I like Respawn. I like what they do. I love their tone. I love their stories, telling stuff. I like everything about what they do. So I might force myself to buckle down and really get into this game. What are you doing, Rick?
Fucking around.
This is what happens.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
I would suggest trying it out. I mean, it's free.
Yeah, maybe I'd check it out.
It looks really, really nice.
Yeah. I just have such a... Well, it's not that. I have such a backlog of games and there's so many things that I need to get to that... Not that I won't get anything new, because I will. If something really calls to me, I will. But yeah, like I got Resident Evil 2, and I've just...
That's not new.
I'm just kidding. I've just barely started it. I really haven't played it since I got it. Like I got it the first night, then I just haven't had a chance, and I played it really late at night, so I only played for like 20 minutes. And I want to play it, but like I said, I think when it was during our our
favorites of the
year-end stuff, I mentioned how a game that I was playing was called Unforeseen Incidents, and it's my sort of point and click, sort of deal. I'm so sucked into that story right now that I can't bring myself to play something else, even though I want to.
Right.
Because I start thinking like, fuck, I got really into Golf Story. Should I play some more Golf Story? But like,
yeah, you should.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to.
I know.
But you know what I mean? You know how like you get sucked into like a narrative?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. So.
The crazy thing about Apex Legends is like in 24 hours they had like 10 million concurrent players or something.
Yeah, that's insane.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
I think people are really thirsty for battle royale style games right now, and they want to see what everybody is doing with that genre because it has become a genre. at this point.
It has.
You know, you got Battlefield doing one, but they haven't launched it yet. When you got Call of Duty that did one, you've got like Red Dead has a Battle Royale style on their online game. Everybody is doing one, so it's definitely more of a genre now than ever before. And I guess my main... Go ahead.
Isn't it just technically like Last Man Standing?
It's Counter-Strike.
There you go, yeah.
And that's... Like, I guess I was never good at Counter-Strike. I loved playing it, but I was never good at it. And I guess that may be where, like, one of the things that's negative with Apex and other Battle Royale games is, like, one death. You're down and you're out.
Yeah.
There's a revive mechanic in Apex, and there's also a respawning mechanic in Apex. But from last night, what I noticed is that nobody engages with that shit, because even if they're a squad of people and they're people that know each other, everybody treats it like it's a solo game. And that's inevitably what happens with every online multiplayer shooter. It happens in Paladins all the time. It's like, this is not a team deathmatch game. This is a siege match. Get on the fucking point. And nobody does. Everybody's running around trying to get kills. It's like, get on the point. And it happened. I was watching it happen in Apex. Like, there was a guy who, a squad, and one of them got downed by my team. And they were all together. And the guy that was down, because we were a good distance away, got behind something. So the guy that was standing right next to him could get behind there and heal him. And he didn't. He just stood inches away from that guy and watch that counter tick down from 90 seconds to 0, and then watch that counter tick down to where you can pick up their flag and go to a respawn. But just watch that shit tick all the way down to where the dude was dead. And it's like, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's dumb.
Yeah, and so it's hard. Yeah, it's weird, man. It's a weird style of game, but again, because I like Respawn so much, I'm going to give this one a real good go.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like with those style of games, like, on paper, they never sound interesting to me. Like I said, I'm more into like something that's story driven.
Right.
Something telling me a story. But I mean, yeah, if I'm playing it with like a bunch of friends, I could see how that could suck me in. But I feel like it has to suck me in. You know what I mean? Like I don't know that naturally I'm gonna be like, hey, go play this and try it out and play with a bunch of randoms. With friends, I'm sure I would have a good time.
Yeah.
But it never sounds appealing to me like at the beginning.
Yeah.
At all.
So I'll have more on that. I'm gonna play more of Hong Kong Massacre. I'll be playing more Bayonetta and more The Division, and my Battle Pass, I'm still like 8 levels away from top level on that thing for this season, so I'll probably be playing Paladins and leveling that up too. Like, we got a lot of games. I still need to get through Spider-Man. Yeah, I got games to play, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I have The Crew 2, which I haven't touched after I finished like the main campaign of that, but they've been coming out with free updates for that game, and it's like, wow, there's a bunch of new cars, there's a bunch of new this, a bunch of new that. I'm like, man, I need to get back into that, because like I know a lot of people didn't like The Crew and The Crew 2, but I actually had a lot of fun playing both of those games. Need for Speed is reportedly going to have a game out in 2019.
Oh, really?
Which I'm excited about. I don't care what anybody says. I've had a lot of fun with the Need for Speed games over
How long
the
has
last
it been?
decade. They took a year off.
Oh, just
so they didn't come out with a game in 2018,
but
they had one in 2017, which was really fun. That's the one I was telling you to get, because
Oh,
it
yeah.
felt like the closest thing to Burnout.
Burnout.
But yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff coming out this year, supposedly coming out this year, that I'm really excited about, plus games I already have that I need to continue playing, and remasters and re-releases and all that shit. And I'm sure there's just going to be a lot more of that as the year goes on. And I'll probably eventually end up having to resubscribe to Gamefly in the middle of the year when they go, hey, come back for $1. And I'm like, all right, will do, man.
No problem, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that an episode?
Yeah.
All right, so that will do it for this week's episode number 303 of Some Shit We Like. If you interacted, chatted, joined us in the chat during the live stream, we appreciate you, Broken Wolf, Cheesy, Ash. I think that was it, unless I missed somebody. And if you missed us live, don't worry. You know, we always stream live. You can follow us on social media at Some Shit We Like, Instagram, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Instagram is SSWL Network, right?
Yep.
Follow us on there. You'll know when we go live. And if you can't catch us live, it's not a big deal, because you'll hear this full thing anyways. Audio on Tuesday, the complete video on Friday. And if that's all too much for you to bear, we put clips up throughout the week. So for Rick and for Mike,
Until
for myself, Rick, did it a little bit
That's
too
all
soon.
right.
Yeah. For Rick, for Mike, and myself, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you, and we will see you next week. And
Keep stuffing that kind of funny up and comer nomination box, please. That was some shit we like.